We're back. What's up?
We're live. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Monday Cinema Club. It's our second movie of the year, and it's A Streetcar Named Desire.
Heavy movie.
Heavy movie. I'm Dante Bosco.
Hi, my name is Alice Rahmatullah for my Chinese fans. 大家好，欢迎来到我们的电影俱乐部。For my Uyghur fans, yaxşımızlar bizden kino klubumuz kelgenler karşılamız benim ismim Bahar Gül. And for everybody, what's up?
What's up?
My name
for
is
my
Alice.
Filipino fans, hello. And this, for people that just joined us for the first time, this is the Monday Cinema Club. Thanks you guys for joining us. I love Qatar here. Shout out to
everybody.
Finland, Rock Asia Superstar.
Thank
What's going on?
Lily.
Lily Spisman, how you doing? Brian Fresco,
Thank you, Jack.
Jackie Davis, 9546. What's up?
Jack from Australia. We're getting international, Dante.
I know we are. Thank you for everybody that joined us for the Avatar reunion. That was pretty fun. And we're back with our movie club. For people that don't know what this is, it's basically like a book club, and we've been watching so many movies during COVID because, you know, we're filmmakers, actors, writers, directors.
Are we still in COVID?
Producers. I don't know where we are. We're somewhere in the middle. And so we're still watching movies, and so we're continuing the year with watching cinema classics. And then, you know, instead of just discussing with each other, we're going to discuss with you guys and the people that were able to watch the movie with us. This week, it's a classic film called A Streetcar Named Desire.
So apparently it's a black and white film.
Yeah, it's a black and white film.
I got a little bit stressed because I'm not personally preferred black and white film.
This is a classic though, but Streetcar, however, Streetcar Named Desire. I don't know how many of you guys watched it this week, and we'll get to some people to bring you guys into the chat. The people
Absolutely.
That were
we do have the 2 VIP guests.
Really? So we have people that can discuss the movie with us this week. If you watch it this week with us, definitely come and talk about it with us. This is a must-see film in acting school. You know, I'm going to start off. Can I start off?
Absolutely.
Right.
When do you do
So,
start off first? You always start first. Why are you asking so quiet? Because Ron is sitting here being so quiet.
Our producing partner Ron's in the room. He also watched Streetcar. He also went to acting school. Ron, you saw Streetcar?
Of course.
Of course. So Streetcar is one of those essential films you have to watch as a kind of actor growing up, especially in Los Angeles and America, because Marlon Brando, who we watched one of his films earlier in Monday Cinema Club, we watched The Godfather.
We watched The Godfather.
Which is him as an older man.
Yeah.
But to see him as his kind of one film that he entered the industry in is Streetcar Named Desire, first on Broadway, a Tennessee Williams play, and then in the film, also written by Tennessee Williams, but then directed by Elia Kazan. It's remarkable because you see kind of how a star got made. One of the most prominent things about the film is you understand what we learned as actors is Marlon Brando kind of changed what acting will forever be
style
in America and in the world. All this like stuff that we're doing today, this like realistic acting, this like trying to be these real people, started with Marlon Brando doing Stella Kowalski in there's construction out there. Started with Marlon Brando and Stella Kowalski in Streetcar Named Desire. And you can even see it. There's some people acting kind of like the old way, even in this film, and doing these more presentational kind of acting. And he's here doing this very earthed, grounded acting. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could talk about storyline, which we will continue to talk about storyline, seeing how movies kind of play now, 50, 60, 70 years later. What year was it? What year did this movie come out?
This movie came out in 1951, September 18th, and directed by
70 years ago. 70 years.
Yes.
2021, so 70 years ago.
70 years. And then Academy Award for Best Actress and Best Actor.
But this when you watch him and you watch this film, and again, I'm an actor first, you know, I'm a filmmaker and a writer and I do all this stuff, but I'm an actor first, and you get to see how stars are made and how they still are made today in a way that there are ways that people in Hollywood and our industry that they kind of make stars through the hype, you know, build up the hype and whatnot. And you go back and you start to study how Brando and how Stanley happened. He did this performance on Broadway, and it just garnered so much of attention of him doing this role, and it became the big hype train of Hollywood started with this role to a degree, because it was so powerful that it warranted all this hype. Whereas now people create all this hype and no one's seen anything, and then they watch the movie or the film or the play or the song, and then they get let down. This thing, the hype was created because the performance was so good. And it's one of those things where I've read things in the past too, where like Stanley Kowalski is not the lead in the movie. The movie is not about Stanley. Yeah, it's about Blanche DuBois, Vivien Leigh, who is, of course, people out there that are other cinema buffs know her from, of course, Gone with the Wind, playing Scarlett O'Hara, but this is her playing also another great character, Blanche DuBois. And it's really a story about Blanche DuBois and her sister and her world, but because this actor came in, the right actor, the right role at the right time, he kind of overshadowed even the stars of the actual piece, and it became this really remarkable character and performance. And as an actor, sometimes the right actor, the right role comes along, and they kind of overshadow the project.
That's what we're hoping for being actress.
I think every actor that ever acts in anything, I mean, the whole talk of there are no small roles, is because it is like, not that Stanley was a small role in any way, but he's not the focus of the piece, but because his performance was so good, everyone focused on him.
Okay, what is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, I mean, I love the scenes of Stanley Kowalski talking to Blanche DuBois when she comes in, he's going through her case, and even the scenes, all the scenes when they're bantered together, and it's dark, he's ugly, he's a monster, he's an asshole, for sure. He's not someone that's a likable character, but because he has so much humor and charisma, you find yourself, he has this magnetic charisma, like you can't take your eyes off him, and what he's doing is making you laugh with the humor, but also, kind of like disgusting you with some of his actions and what he ends up doing and becoming in the piece. And then you also see the toxic masculinity through the film. You see the toxic love affair that he has with Stella, and the beauty in it and the ugliness in it,
So that was your favorite?
I think my favorite scene.
Going through
going through
her luggage.
And it's so quotable, the movie, too. I mean, Tennessee Williams is a playwright and a poet, and so there's so many lines in the movie that just, they just mean so much. Yes, I see it.
I know why.
Stella!
I know why you love this film so much, because
why?
I feel like...
are you a psychiatrist?
No, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just like telling my opinion.
Go for it.
So, I know why you love this movie so much, because I can tell, like, the dialogue is so poetic.
Yeah, great
and
dialogue.
then you love that heavy poetic dialogue, and you enjoy it. Like, I know why you love this movie. At the same time, I know why this movie became a classic movie, because in the beginning, when you say it's a black and white film, I was like, oh my god, it's so like painted. To be honest, it's like, it's not really my personal preference watching black and white.
I know a lot of you guys out there don't like to watch black and white films, but it's our history.
It's the history.
This is Monday Cinema Club. We're doing cinema.
I know. Calm down. Why are you so emotional?
I'm not emotional. I'm just saying.
And after the movie started, like after 10 to 15 minutes, you like naturally you forgot about this black and white thing,
right?
And you just like into that heavy drama. And
it's been a dramatic week anyway.
It's been a dramatic week anyways. However, this movie is just like, it feels like a beauty of the film, you know what I mean? And you just like attracted into this story. And I don't know why. I mean, you can tell it's a different acting style from the acting perspective, and director perspective. It's a very clever movement, all the like dramatic a glass breaking down, so you can tell it's like bad things happening and dramatic music.
Yeah, he's doing
stars.
he's doing a lot of dramatic directing.
Yeah, for producing perspective, when you look at this film, it's so economically shot. It's like one shooting location, which is an apartment.
Because it was a play.
Major.
It was a play, so he kind of still shot it like a play.
It's a play, but however, it's a film.
No, it's a film. He made it into cinema.
Yeah,
it's really beautiful.
Made it in
the production design and how
production design, everything you can tell. It's like it's set. It feels like it's one location, one set. It's beautiful, like. I mean, producing perspective is like one set.
We can shoot that for pretty cheap. One
set, but pretty cheap, and then you're looking at that. And also, when you're comparing to two different acting style, I don't know why. Is it because of, I was like thinking, because of her character, Blanche DuBois. That's her. DuBois. That's a French A.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the right pronunciation.
I don't know.
You don't speak
French.
Why are you correcting French pronunciation?
Because of the thing, Blanche DuBois. DuBois means
DuBois,
forest,
yes.
and Blanche is what? The white,
Blanche.
the white forest.
That's her character?
White woods.
That's her character, or that's her acting style? So, of course, back in the day, like, acting style is like a little more dramatic, like stage performing.
And mental health. There's a lot of mental health issues.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's her character. She purposely did that. Or that's acting style in the back in the days. It's so
the
dramatic.
Shark said DuBois.
DuBois.
That's
okay,
what I'm saying.
Thank you,
Blanche
Shark.
DuBois.
DuBois.
Kind of poetic.
It's so funny, like, people from America correcting French accent.
I know, but you know, these...
speak French?
I
Just
can't
kidding.
There are French people, especially down in New Orleans. There's a whole French sector of the city.
Yes.
You know? So it is what it is.
It is what it is. So
shout out to the French people out there.
Do I like this film overall? I do love this film. I do liked it. I did like it. I did enjoy it, but at the same time, it drives me crazy. It's monster. It's crazy, man. It's just so.
As an
masculine,
actor, what character do you think
so,
you play?
As an actor, I told you I can feel play.
Blanche or Stella?
No, why are you saying?
No, I'm asking, would you play Blanche? I mean,
No,
I think as actors,
there's no way I can play the Blanche Stella because it's like
Blanche or Stella.
Stella.
You know, as actors, we're always watching. I mean, I'm sure you're like this too, but when you're watching a movie, you always think,
gotta put yourself what character I can play.
Could I do that? Would I be able to play that role?
I will laugh on the set 1,000 times if I play
Blanche DuBois.
Blanche.
Grow up a few years, you could play Blanche DuBois.
Yeah, maybe. In that.
But also, you're a little sister. You have a big sister, so you understand the Stella.
Stella more attached to me because I'm a little sister. I mean, I'm an actor. I can play whatever I want.
I know, but you understand the pathology of the little sister.
Doesn't matter. I can learn.
As soon as the big sister comes, she starts.
Doesn't matter. I'm an actor.
Every actor thinks they can play every role. It's not
exactly. True. It's not true, but you have to.
I know, it's true.
If you lie it enough yourself.
I don't think I want to play Stanley. There's too much going on with Stanley. And it's too glorified that it's hard. Actually, you know, a quick story. I went and saw this done on Broadway years ago in the 90s, and it was Stella Kowalski was performed by Alec Baldwin, which was crazy. Young Alec Baldwin, when he was like, you know, the Marlon Brando of his time, he was like young at that time. He was like young and good looking and thought to be this really great actor. And that was when I was going to NYU for some things. So we went with the NYU group, and he talked to us afterwards, our group, which is great. It's part of our program. But to see him doing it, I think every young actor tries to tackle this role because it's one of the big hurdles that, you know, as an actor you're trying to do. Not many have been successful. I do applaud that young Alec Baldwin got to do it on such the biggest stage of Broadway, and it was pretty amazing to see.
It's amazing to see. So
yeah. So, and look, beyond the toxic masculinity that I'm sure people are coming in and going to talk about, beyond just the great acting, there's a really big things that was before its time talking about mental health. The mental health issues are big.
Mental health, it's big, but I mean, I feel like she of course she has mental health, and it's like a borderline personality.
Psychosis. I looked it up. It said she has psychosis, some form of psychosis.
And of course, that's the tension. Like director tried to bring it that back in the day, but that's still like happening right now. And then this toxic husband and wife relationship is just like more abusive,
unhealthy
relationship with more,
but also sexy
in this girl,
in a bad way.
They can't get off.
He hit her. Remember, he hits her after the car scene, and then she goes up to the neighbor upstairs, and then like he starts yelling the classic line, "Stella, oh Stella," and he's just down there like howling, and then you see Stella kind of like get entranced by him and like kind of saunters down the stairs. Her sister's looking at her like, what is going on?
What is going on? What happened? But at the time, she's acted really like clear. She's acted very smart, her sister.
Yeah, well, you know.
And she's like in and out.
People, I think,
her mental breakness is like in and out. It just comes back and suddenly goes away, and she becomes a normal person, and then she's like living in that.
But then she gets re-stimulated by something in her past, and it puts her in a crazy place again.
That's horrible.
So you like the film? Before we bring the first person in, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
My favorite scene in the movie is Let me think.
Alice?
I'm thinking. I mean, you said it and she's walking in the down the stairs. I hate it. I hate that part. At the same time, I love it. Because how smart the director is. You can feel she's like,
I know.
I want that guy. At the same time, like, you just hit me like crazy. But my favorite scene is also when sister and older sister, they're like, when she came to the apartment and like she's walking, like, do you live in this apartment? Like, it's kind of like,
she's like shitting on her sister.
like, you know, at the same time, she's like covering up, like, oh, it's beautiful. I know it's small, but it's like, it's kind of like related to me.
You understand the sister relationship.
The sister and then the younger sister relationship, and that, like, in that moment, I'm in that movie. So I will say that's my favorite scene. But I'm pretty sure there's some other scenes I love it.
And the thing about the film, you know, like all cinemas, like, we're gonna look at it. I'm sure we're all gonna look at it right now and kind of look how it holds up 70 years later. And it, you know, film's not always about to depict the perfect world. This is not perfect. This is showing you
of course
ugly and beautiful parts of the human experience.
We love this movie so much, and then this movie becomes so
I think
such a classic because this character exists in the world.
But it's not PC. The film's not PC. Not politically correct.
It's not.
And I think a lot of times people want to get us to do politically correct things, and I understand the
but
times,
it's
but
the reality.
Cinema's not about that.
Correct.
You know,
this
writing's
is
not
a
about
dirty reality. Also, it's beautiful at the same time. It's a dirty, bad, toxic relationship, toxic side of this.
And we see that in ourselves, see that in our family, see that in our friends.
We see it in ourselves, we see it in our friends, we see it in our families, friends. Like, we see in our daily life, but we don't want to face to that. We want to living in that perfect, beautiful world. Like, everyone is so nice.
There is a line that the neighbor says, like, you can't. She's like, I can't. You know, I don't want to believe that what she told me about Stan is like, you can't believe that because you got to keep going on. And that's kind of like our mindset. Like, we want to lie to ourselves. Whatever we need to lie to ourselves to keep moving forward is kind of how we. You know,
but don't you think sometimes if you're being so true about the reality of so true about the society, you gotta get depressed?
I know. It's a tricky line out there, y'all. It is rough, buddy. That is rough, buddy. Jace Dawson.
It is rough. But, however, we need the balance. That's my conclusion of this movie. It's like realistic side of me.
Okay, so every week for people that don't know, is like we bring people in, and we're gonna bring people in now. You can get on the VIP list, which means we bring someone that we booked early for the beginning and for the end of the conversation. Yeah. And you can always do that during the week if you watch the film by just going to at Alice Rahamatula's Instagram page and just DM her, and she picks the VIP list from there. So let's bring the first person. Who's
first person raised? Here is it. Salish?
Where is it?
Sale.
1 second.
Salish. Underline the.
Hold on a second. Is Saile?
Saile.
No. I'm sorry. We probably look crazy on the screen right now. They're like, what are these people doing? They're not there. Is that it?
Yeah, this first person.
Okay, she or he is not available at the moment.
Well,
so
over there.
Oh, where?
Here.
No.
No, I just saw. He's just coming. Right
here
here
you go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Maybe I was wrong. So
how do you pronounce that?
I don't know. We're gonna ask them.
I'm pretty sure that's not.
Salish the Batu. They could be the Batuse. The Batuse.
Oh, here he is.
How you doing? What's your name?
Hello.
My name is Silas.
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 Where does that name come from?
Oh, me? Where do I come from? I'm from Alabama.
Where's the name come from?
Oh, it's from it's from the Hindu religion.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Silas. I like that.
Silas. All right, you told me you watched the film, so
let's talk. Where are you calling from first, Silas?
I'm calling from Alabama right now.
Bama. Good luck on the game tonight, Alabama. This is a football
game.
I don't understand.
They don't need it. They got it.
They got it. Roll Tide, right?
They got it. Roll Tide.
So, is it your first time watching the film? Or you watched it before? Are you a filmmaker? Are you an actor? Give us a background. Where you coming from?
Oh no, I just love movies. I just love old company.
Well, thank you. We love them too. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah. So the thing is, I actually saw Streetcar Desire when I was in 11th grade, and I also read I read the play script too. My English teacher maybe recite the lines in front of the entire class.
Right.
So yeah. So
So how did you
when I
feel
was like,
about it then, and how do you feel about it now? Because I assume you're out of high school now. I mean, you look very young still, so you got some years.
thank you.
Where are you at now? Out of college now?
Oh yeah, I'm still in college right now. I'm in I'm about to graduate next semester. Like no, next year. Yeah.
Congrats.
Nice.
Congrats.
Congrats.
So how did you feel about it in high school, and how do you feel about it now? Like, give us your assessment of the whole
Here's your
project.
assessment. You
Talk to
like
us,
it, you
Simon.
hate it.
All right. Okay, you got it. So in high school, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" It's. I thought it was gonna be a funny thing. I thought it was gonna be a funny film at first, and I'm just like, "Oh dear lord, that's a lot of issues here. I can't deal with it anymore." I had to excuse myself to the bathroom a few times because I was just like, I'm not putting up to this today. I'm sorry. But now after like now that I'm in college and all that, all I can say is that that Blanche is a pathological liar from what I see, from what I see in the movie, and I'm like when I was like analyzing the characters, I was thinking to myself, how did Stella turn out somewhat okay, right? But Blanche, on the other hand, is like completely. I'm not even gonna say it on here, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think
We're
there's a lot
getting
of,
what you
I
say.
think there's a lot of damage. I wonder that too, but I think to her defense, she's trying to defend herself in the film and the play too. It's like Stella, you left, and then mom died, and then dad died, and I was there to like deal with all the madness, and then it got the best of her, and it went to places like having relations with one of her students, and then doing what she had to do to survive with various men afterwards, and she just went down the downward spiral. But I think to cope with it, her psychosis took over, so she can just as you say, pathological mental health, whatever happened for her, her survival was like escaping into these better times in her life. And then it leads her back to her family, and her family kind of moved on with their life, doing their thing, and it just disrupted everything. And that streetcar named Desire, they all jumped on together, was just became just a dynamite situation where it blew everything up. I think. I mean, I don't know. As I've grown up too, I watched it when I was younger, in high school too, and read the plays and did some of the scenes, and then now in my 40s looking at it, we've all been through our ups and downs and have our damages in our life, and you almost feel for Blanche more as you get older, because you got the the bruises and the madness too. I mean, hopefully you didn't let it destroy you to a degree, but you feel it, you understand where it comes from,
Oh yeah, and like I think the time period also plays a role in this too. Because I'm gonna be real with you. 1945, that's when the war ended, right? But then after those years, it's like I think it's because like people are like mentally recovering from the war as well.
Sure.
I don't know like about Blanche's family past. I think one person might have fought in the war and probably like lashed out onto her,
Right.
or because like we all know World War II was one of the darkest wars in human history.
Totally.
And
And
you're right, because Stella Kowalski and Mitch, they said they both were together in the whatever, thing, army together. That's how they knew each other. So
really?
Yeah, they were ex-soldiers coming out of the war together. That's how they knew each other. And so it's something that we all, in modern days, we all talk about PTSD, and we talk about how it affects the soldiers and the whole community. But it's actually impressive to go back and see that they're making films and addressing these things, mental health and post-war trauma and all kinds of stuff, but not knowing what they're just writing about it and feeling it and kind of like putting it out there without really, not having the knowledge collectively as society as what we know about now. We'd see something like this now and we'd be like, oh, we know exactly the themes that they're dealing with And they're not really, they didn't have that,
that much information.
Yeah, back
that
then.
That much sources, I will say, because we have so many like different platforms and different sources we getting information.
I mean, it's very mature for an audience.
Mature for the audience
for sure.
at that time, but right now when you look at it, and right now in this modern day, we watch this film, you feel this branch, her, where she's coming from, and you do also feel this. What is her husband name?
Stanley Kowalski.
Stanley. His aggressiveness, why he became who he is. And
right.
You do also understand why they have this toxic relationship.
How do you feel, Silas? You definitely explained how you felt about Blanche DuBois, but how did you feel about Stanley Kowalski?
Oh, he was an asshole when I first saw him.
He definitely was. I mean, a monster. Almost by the end of the film, he becomes a very almost monster, you know? But very charismatic and charming the whole time.
I mean, like when he hit Stella and all that, I'm just like, oh, so he's that type of guy. That's what popped in my head. And then, like, now that you mentioned that, you know, he fought in the war and all that, I guess that's a sign of some of that PTSD that he's suffering with at that time. So that causes him to, like, act like a jerk to everybody around him. And that also not excusable, but also like him beating his wife a few times, and then just over here just taking it.
By the end, it alludes to, and I think it's true. We were trying to figure it out because he rapes Blanche DuBois at the end of the play.
He does.
He rapes.
Yeah. He sexually assaults her. He sexually does assault her. But when Blanche tells Stella, "Yeah, this is what your husband did to me," Stella doesn't believe her, well, because Blanche was lying before she came in, saying like, "Oh yeah, I went away from my teaching position due to my nerves," when in reality it was something completely different. So she's like, "I can't trust you anymore, Blanche." So when Blanche tells her, he's like, "Go."
She believes her sister finally, and she says, "I'm never going back to him." Remember?
Yeah, she left him because. At the end of the day, I'm looking at that character, like I'm putting myself in that character's shoes. If I was her, I would leave him in the beginning, like when he hits me in the first place. But I mean, it's like obviously there's deep love involved, whatever. And later on, even though her sister has a mental issue, and she told that your husband raped me, that's the big.
I know, but she's also going, you know, she's not trustworthy because of all the other issues going on mentally.
But so that's why, like, a lot of people doesn't trust. What is the truth? Like, you don't know. Like, what is the truth?
But by the end,
she has the mental issues. She has mental illness. So that's why we're not supposed to trust her at all.
By the end, she does trust her.
I don't know. She trusts her, or she just thinks like our relationship is already violent and toxic, so I have to go.
No, it's a lot. Well,
we don't know.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your phone call and your insight.
Thank you for having me on here.
Bye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Prince Zuko.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, well, that's Silas out of Alabama. We have another person to close out the conversation, but before then, we're going to bring some other people in.
Absolutely.
So, if people, if you want to hashtag, if you watch the film, and you hashtag streetcar. Hashtag streetcar, and let me see if there's
movie-related question.
Movie-related questions. Here we go. So hashtag streetcar. If you watch the movie, you have something you want to talk about the film with, we'll bring you into the conversation. So in the chat right now, hashtag streetcar, and we'll bring you in. Here's one, the Shrock. Okay, the first person is the Shrock. The Shrock is like the Shrek rock. All right. So hopefully you guys watched the movie. I appreciate all the fans in here, especially all the Avatar fans and the Rufio fans. I love talking to you guys.
Hey!
Hi!
What's up? How are you? Oh, my name's Will.
Will, what's up? Where are you calling in from, Will?
China Grove, North Carolina. It's near Charlotte.
North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. I like your your avatar, your username, the Shrock. It's a little.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
Little what's his name?
No.
Shrek in the Rock.
Basically, what that means is I have a mansion in the swamp. You know.
There you go. Are you a Shrek fan?
Yeah.
No, me too.
That that right there is like some 2000s history.
Yeah, definitely,
Like,
definitely.
but
So,
yeah, I
were you able to watch Streetcar Named Desire?
yeah, I was up till 3 watching that last night.
Oh my God! All right.
All right.
Well, you have some notes. Talk to us about it. What you want to say about it?
Yeah.
I saw your notes.
Oh yeah, that's because I don't have that good of a memory. But first off, an Edgar Allan Poe reference right off the bat. Thought that was awesome.
Yes, it's the movie. The words are so poetic, and it's like I want to read it because there's so many great things in the dialogue.
Yeah, and also I'd like to point out one thing before then is that this is like acting wasn't necessarily all that new back then. It was 1951. I mean, acting had only been around for like what 30, 40 years.
Yeah, for a long time. Cinema's been going on for a while. It just changed when.
Yeah.
I love acting.
Yeah, so like this was like great acting for the time, like really good acting now still, you know.
Yes.
So yeah.
All young, especially young cool actors are still trying to do Brando. Like literally, they're all everyone's still trying to do Brando. It's crazy. But keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So first off, the Napoleonic Code.
Hilarious.
Funny.
It annoyed the living hell out of me. It's like Napoleonic Code. The Napoleonic.
It's like, have you heard of the Napoleonic Code? Because here in New Orleans, in Louisiana, we have something called the Napoleonic Code.
Yeah, and he brought it up every single time. It's like Blanche is in the shower. Well, have you talked to her about the Napoleonic Code?
It's hilarious.
Nice.
But it's so funny to me too. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny, but it gets to an abusive part, you know, where he starts like ripping out her clothes and stuff. He slams on the door, and it's just it gets to be too much. It's like it's funny at first until he starts doing all that stuff.
For sure.
And I was like, okay, he's gonna be a bit of an ass, but that's all right.
He's very big ass by the end of it, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. He's a rapist at that point, but you know, just. When he hits Stella, I'd noticed one thing, right? So after he hits her, one of his friends throws like this mean left hook and knocks him silly, and I was happy about that. I'm like, got folded like an omelet, man. He needed to.
No, I love that. I did love that part. It was interesting that they showed abuse, but they also showed within their friend group or you know whatever, like saying societal. He gets checked on it, and it's not like it was like he. It wasn't like anyone applauding what he did, you know?
Yeah.
He got knocked out. But it didn't stop him from furthering.
Would that be happening in the world?
I think no, it wouldn't nowadays because we aren't as sexist as we were back then.
Right.
The thing about even all the way up to like maybe like the late 60s is that society was still very sexist, you know?
For sure.
True.
And I mean, we still have some problems nowadays.
Of course.
Like we still have some for sure.
We're not perfect.
No, but
we certainly had progress.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, but I mean, I was happy that even back then he got his comeuppance in the moment for being, and she left him, and then through the toxic relationship, she just comes back like a snake.
So realistic of me. Why do you wait until you had a kid to leave that man? Like, and now you become a single mom, and now you have to take care of all the kids by yourself.
It happens. It's real. It's like that's what happens.
It's a whole mess.
That's happening every day in every country around the world. All over.
Yeah, around that time, it sort of like addressed the big issue about that too, because you know, I mean, like men were still beating on women because they think they could.
Right.
And he even said it in the film. He viewed every man as a king.
Yeah.
And that
every man is a king, and I'm a king in this house.
Well, that's like a king.
Yeah, that was.
Like a
that was something I noticed that maybe I don't know. I think everybody would notice it nowadays, but it's like, well, I can see where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
And they were kind of given really little hints about the rape scene early on in the movie, though. The way that he was acting to Blanche at first, he would kind of like look at her up and down. I noticed that the eye contact when he was looking at her, he wouldn't look at her in the eyes. He was actually staring at her chest.
Really?
Yeah, he was. You go look at it.
I gotta watch that again. I do feel the tension. I felt the tension.
I feel the tension, but at the same time, it was like there's no way that's her sister-in-law. Like
that's his sister-in-law.
That's his sister-in-law. It's like what?
Yeah, at first she was kind of falling for him as well until she sort of like recognized his personality. Like Blanche was sort of like falling for him a little bit.
Right.
But
I think first saw him in the bowling alley, he's so like magnetizing. She's like, that's him. You know?
yeah,
I felt that kind of feeling too.
yeah. But yeah, no. I think what got me as well is that Stella basically said that she liked it. Like you know, when she got hit by him and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was like, man, how do you like that?
On that.
I don't know. I mean, but again, it speaks to our society, especially at that time, and it's still happening today. Like we all have to go through stuff that we're like, what are you doing, guys and girls?
Exactly.
With toxic on, you know, it's not just, and there's a lot of guys for sure, but there's also a lot of girls too, where you're going, you're giving, you know, friends advice.
Well, even though you're giving a friend's advice, I mean, obviously this morning I got my friend's text message. She is having a toxic relationship with her boyfriend. You can't give much advice.
Ironically.
I mean, you try to give them advice, but at the same time,
they hate you.
They hate you if they.
Yeah, it's people want to end up being in their own world. That's the issue. Is that they think everything's going to be all right if they just think about them.
Yeah, and that doesn't always.
And then,
work
as
well.
a woman or as a man, like when you love someone, you being in love, you're blind. You don't see the issue.
And I think you see that when she's coming downstairs, when he's yelling Stella for the first time,
she doesn't see the issue.
She's so blind to like what.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a desire. It's a kind of desire. She's just back to the desire.
Yeah.
And going to, you know, forego all
you
the
don't
abuse.
Care, yes,
for
you
the
don't
desire.
care it's right or you don't care it's wrong. You're blind. You're blindly in love. So, like, when you're in love, sometimes you fall in love with the wrong person. Sometimes, like, you don't even realize what else comes to you telling the truth. Hey, check on yourself. You're in love with the wrong person.
Yeah,
what else favorite moments or scenes do you have in the movie?
My favorite scene was when Blanche and Mitch were at the docks. This was before Mitch kind of became a scumbag a little bit. But
they had to, like, something beautiful could happen, and then and Stanley poisoned that too.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what got me though was that, like, for a minute when Blanche said she killed her ex-husband, it was like, oh my god.
And then Mitch too was like, "What? You killed him?"
For a second there, but then, like there's the dramatic pause.
The dramatic pause. But that's
the dramatic pause got me.
Yeah, because she takes the guilt of killing him.
The
anyone who sees her die or commit suicide or something, it's like the people left behind go into so much shock that could last the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Happening to her, obviously.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that sort of assisted to her being ill as well, you know?
Absolutely.
She's stuck in that moment because it keeps coming.
Yeah. But yeah, then, you know, everything starts going downhill for her, and I mean, Mitch is willing to do things with her, but not for the right reasons, and that sort of tears her apart even more. And then the rape part. Oh my god, that was
heartbreaking.
That was. And then seeing how she was right afterwards, it was like she was a whole different person compared to how she was the day before.
She was broken.
She's
literally broken.
You can't tell her, like, her mentally, like, she collapsed.
Yeah.
And then she acted really, like, weird, and this illness happened. It's just like it's escalated at a level. She became, like, absolutely psychopath.
Yeah, she got broken. It broke her, literally. So, still, like, what's your feelings of the whole movie, like, just on a broad scope when you think about what do you take away from it?
It disgusted me, but in sort of like a good way, you know? It's like, I don't like that, but it's what I needed to see, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. Remember, that's how it was back then. And
right.
I'm happy that I'd seen it, but it was a good movie, you know? Like, I was disgusted by it, but it was a good movie.
I know, I think I appreciate that. I feel the same. Like, we got to be reminded. And we're not above it all. It's all within us. It's all within our society. It's all within us personally, our family and friends. And, I mean, you watch some of these things not to be above it, but to recognize it, the struggles that we have with ourselves, and put the mirror to ourselves sometimes. And, we're glad that we got through certain things, but how certain things still exist, and we have to still kind of persist.
And it's still like bring awareness of mental illness people.
Mental illness and domestic abuse.
Domestic abuse and borderline personality. Those are the issues. Not like she didn't obviously get the treat.
You're right.
She didn't get the treat. She just like escaping from the whatever the issues. She didn't fix that issue and moved on. She did not do that. She just like keep blaming herself, and then eventually that caused she became a mental illness.
Yeah. But even how like Stanley and his friends, how we bully each other, under the guise of friends, how we bully each other and go a little crazy. I mean, we're all guilty of something in the realm of desire. So William, thank you so much, man, for
hey man, yeah, I love it. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
You have so much to share with us. I love it.
No, I've always wanted to do it, but I've never really like had the time to read or like watch the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I've always missed it. I remember watching what was it? It was one that you did recently, but I just wasn't able to show up for it. I kind of got sad about that, but yeah. Loved you. I loved you in Avatar. Loved you in Bone, and I loved you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate you got to share this movie with us this week. I love it.
Absolutely. Thank you for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you. Love you guys.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, let's bring one more person before we bring in our final person.
Absolutely.
So, hashtag streetcar right now, and we'll bring you in.
Bring us.
We have one more, but we'll do one more, and then we'll bring in the last person.
Okay. I'll bring.
Who grabbed something? You saw somebody?
Yeah, I remember she saw the film and I saw the hashtag too. So where is it? Right here, right?
Also, I guess I can take this moment for the movie next week. Should we announce the movie next week?
Oh, do you want to announce it?
Yeah, we're going to do a lighter film next week. Still a cinema classic. It's been a dramatic week seeing drama. It was pretty intense. But for the next week, we're going to do something fun. We're going to do a heist movie. And this movie's called The Sting. The Sting starring Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
We're doing Sting?
The Sting.
I thought you said something else.
I know we're doing another drama. We want to do another drama. We want to do another drama.
Okay. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
We had two up in the air, but we went with this one.
Okay.
Do we see
I can't.
Let me see the person. Hit it. Let me see.
Yeah, I saw her.
Oh, here you go.
We
don't know. We're like looking on the screen, looking crazy. All right.
Looking crazy. All right, just pull someone. If you saw the film, please hashtag streetcar.
Streetcar. Hashtag streetcar. I don't know. Pick some. I can't. It's going by.
Okay, where's the hashtags? Okay, here it is.
Just pick somebody.
Should we just bring our...
bring in the last person because we only have 10 minutes actually. So bring in the last person. I want to bring someone.
No, hold on. Before let's bring our old friend. Where is that? Should we bring Nicole?
Go ahead.
Nicole, did you watch the film? I'm put
sure
you in.
Did. She watches all the films.
All right.
Shout out to Nicole.
Shout out to Nicole. She's a big VIP.
The Breakfast Club, Shrock. I see the Breakfast.
Oh!
It's me.
I love it. Every time when you're just standing in front of the same picture frame behind you.
So, sure you watched the movie, yes?
She did.
Yeah, I did.
Tell us, break it down for us. We know there's probably some issues you have with the film. I'm positive. Go for it.
I want to say some fun facts about the film.
Give us some facts.
Originally, it was a play written like in 1947.
Oh.
During which is like post Great Depression, and Tennessee Williams was able to do this film because he got funding from the WPA, like Writers Progress Administration,
Okay.
which sort of paid people to produce plays, build infrastructure, roads, sort of a way, sort of help this production be created, like
Awesome.
the storyline and the plot.
Yeah, that's great. And I know, Brando did it on Broadway, and the original Blanche DuBois was Jessica Tandy, who, I remember when I was growing up, she was an older actress in movies like Cocoon and things of that nature. And to see her as a young, pictures of her being young doing Blanche DuBois is pretty amazing. What other stuff do you got for us? What other great trivial stuff do you have for us about the film? You always have the best information.
You're like little teacher, like, what else? Tell us.
Yeah, and like in the play, unlike in the film, they showed how Blanche said how she had a first husband that died, but they didn't mention how the husband died.
Right.
Mm.
In the film, he commits suicide after a dance or something.
But they also failed to mention that he was a homosexual.
Oh, he's
at that time.
In the movie,
he was a homosexual.
In the play, they mentioned that?
Homosexual that had an affair, and Blanche caught him in one of his affairs, and like homophobia at the time. She was like,
I was too avant-garde for the movie, I guess, huh?
Sort of like disgusted. That led him to commit suicide.
Oh, so that's how it happened in the play.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, they didn't mention it in the movie. I think it was for those time. I think homosexuality was too
That's a
controversial.
big no-no
to put
at
in
the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is Tennessee Williams is gay, so he's a gay playwright that wrote the play, and so
probably
that makes sense. Very
that
intense.
makes sense.
See, look at you, Nicole.
Nicole,
You're always giving us a lot of.
of.
Did you care or not that it was black and white?
I didn't care.
You didn't care.
What are you trying to say?
It's part of history. It was like at that time,
Part of
people
history.
use black and white.
I know. Whenever we do a black and white movie, Alice's face goes, "We gotta do a black." and white.
I'm just being honest. You
I
know,
know.
like it's just.
I
love the
understand.
color. I love color. I love
color. Me
colorful
too.
world.
Color's
I want to
great.
see color.
Black and white's cool. Would you ever direct or shoot a black and white film?
I will.
Yeah, see,
I will.
Alice, she said I will. All right, Nicole, have a great week. The next week's thing, you might have a good time watching this film. It's like a comedy heist film. In the set called The Sting. The Sting.
The Sting.
Maybe.
Hopefully. I hope you like it. All right.
Even though you didn't like it, you should say it.
She always tells us if she likes it.
I'll always see it.
Thank you, Nicole.
Great to talk.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, who's our final person?
Our final person is here. Lark and Holly.
Larkin. L-A-R?
Yeah. Someone just saying hi from your neighbor. Should we close the door?
Probably should. L-A-R-K-I-N.
Yeah. What about the Holly Larkin?
No, it's that name right there.
Okay, then Larkin.
It's not there. Where's Larkin?
Where's our last VIP guest? You have to send us the request.
Yeah, Larkin. Send us a request.
Larkin Holly.
I'm going to close the door real quick.
Yes, because it's really loud. And did she... Wait, where is it? Is it her or...
Larkin is our last person. Where's Larkin at?
Where's the Larkin? If anybody wants... Well, Larkin, are you in the room?
Maybe
send us a hashtag. She's active.
Okay, maybe. Oh, here we go. Maybe. Let's see this. Might be this one. No. Let's see this. We don't know what we're doing. We need help.
Larkin, if you're in the room, please send us a request or just hashtag or leave a comment. We can just pull you in.
Shout out to Uncle John.
Uncle John, hello.
In the house. Oh, here
it is. Here it is. I'm here. She's here.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay. All right. This is
Larkin,
the last
Holly.
guess for
Larkin, Holly. If you guys.
Larkin, Holly.
Holly, how are you doing? Where are you calling in?
I'm good.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, where are you calling?
I'm here.
Where you calling?
I'm here.
All good.
Switching positions.
Where you calling in from?
Reno, Nevada.
Oh yeah, Reno,
Nevada.
Nevada.
Reno.
So,
We talked to her this
yeah, we talked to you
second,
before, Reno, Nevada. So welcome back. Thank you
Welcome
for joining
back.
us again.
Thank you.
What did you think about the movie?
Honestly, I kind of related to half stuff that was going on.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 'cause from the abuse part, my sisters kind of went through a kind of toxic relationship.
Right.
So my sisters can relate to that. And just Stella's relation because I'm the youngest in my family. I'm the baby.
Right. And you can understand how she felt like she had to like take care of her older sister. Like that's part of
Yeah.
duties as a younger sister.
Yeah. Even though they take care of me half of the time.
Yes, of course, of course.
To my dog. He's upset.
Sit,
Sit
roll
down,
over.
dog.
She can't hear ya. She
Now-
wants it.
Do you watch many black and white films?
I did once, but that was for like English class in college.
Right. So how was it like watching a black and white film, like a historical film this week? Did you get into it?
I didn't mind it, honestly.
What is it? Everyone doesn't mind it.
I
I'm
know.
the only one.
Yeah. So what did you think about the performances of a young Marlon Brando?
Oh, I think he was excellent at his acting, even though his character is a total asshole, pretty much.
Totally. But, charming asshole.
Why do you like the charming? Why do you want
But I
to
think
be
there's a
working
thing
for
because
a charming
we-
asshole? It's
we-
just an asshole. It's a charming
I know,
asshole.
because even though he was a bad character, he became a star from it. Like, everyone
Because
fell in
he's
love with
asshole.
this dude.
Because a lot of people love that charming asshole, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with what he
Yeah.
did in the movie, but to watch him do what he was doing was, like, mesmerizing, kind of, almost,
Yeah.
Because we got sold by that charming characteristic personality. We love
I
that.
didn't. You did. See, you smiled.
I'm not smiling.
What's
I'm
one?
looking
Okay,
at
Holly. What's one of your favorite moments or scenes?
Well, just going back to Stanislavski, I mean, I did theater in high school, so it just brought me back to my high school days in theater.
Right.
And it was the best part of high school.
Okay, so you studied Stanislavski.
Kind of, but it was funny. It was part of a play that we did called Out of the Frying Pan. And one of the lines from one of the characters was like, their whole theme was like Stanislavski.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But we did learn a little bit about it before.
Oh, very cool. So how did you like acting in high school? Did you get to play any cool characters?
I was more of the behind the scenes, but I did do a couple parts in my high school. I didn't like being the lead actor. I just liked behind the scenes stuff.
In front of the audience.
The first play I did was it was a really ridiculous play. Like we had go-go boots. It's like Return to the Forbidden Planet. Like big go-go boots, big hair, eyelashes, and we had to dance in those too.
You were done up.
Yeah, and we had to dance in those too.
Yeah,
So my feet killed me every time.
that's
I
great.
love musical. I did musical.
So
Yeah.
in the movie, give me one of your most favorite moment or memorable moment or scene in the film.
I would say the dog scene, just because one part made me cringe so bad.
Which,
Was when Mitch asked about her age, and it's like, you don't ask a woman her age.
but he was feeling pressure from his mom. Mitch had
I know
shortcomings. He's
from his mom.
himself, and he's like one of those guys that he wants to do something, but he needs to get
Yeah,
he needs to get validation from everyone in his life before he does it. You're like,
yeah, but
like her, go for it.
Go
It doesn't
for
matter
it.
what your past is, and if you're gonna ask advice from everybody, it's not gonna be good. But that's what happens in life.
yeah, but it's like poor Mitch. You're falling for this girl for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
She's crazy.
but he was getting older. She was getting older. They had that moment where maybe we just need each other.
Maybe
And
we
they
need
had a spark moment of hope.
Yeah,
Even though it's not the most perfect love affair, maybe we're in a place in our life that we both need each other to be there
I don't
for
think
each other.
that's a good enough
I
reason
don't-
to end up with someone. Like you're old and you
I
need
don't think
someone
it's the best reason, but
to
when
get a dog.
oh my God, why are you yelling?
I mean, that's the weird reason.
I'm not saying- I'm just trying to
justify when
adjust
you get
that.
old and then you have.
yeah,
I know, but when you're an actor, you're trying to find a place to play the scene and the pathology, the urge of why you're saying what you're saying. It's like
Oh, that's just being. If you're in that role, you have to believe that whatever he's about to say.
and that place has hope. That place has a place of something you can play, but it also gets ruined because of the other.
yeah.
like that.
And just with the mental health, also because my mom works at the VA, so she deals a lot with the veterans, like that mental disorder.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that has a lot to deal with a lot of the film that they didn't really,
Yeah.
say outwardly, but I think it's
I think we
definitely
really need to bring awareness about the mental issues, especially
Yeah.
now, like people dealing with the worldwide pandemic,
I think
whatever.
we're all
Like,
suffering from
regardless.
some mental health right now, from the pandemic stuff to all the diversity in our society right now, and
Yeah.
stuff at the Capitol. Everyone's anxious and everyone's on edge, and everyone is dealing with some kind
We
of
all have it, like
mental
mentally breakdown, mentally.
and we're all
issues. We're all
on
dealing
top
with that.
on top of our own desires in our own life, of all the things that we want, whether it's from other loved ones or work or
Validation.
success, or like we're all on the streetcar named Desire right now, and we're all
Yeah.
it's like we all could be on a dynamite keg ready to burst, and that's what.
Yeah. And just her coming home sometimes, it's like exhausting for her with those veterans because they deal with a lot.
Well, tell your mom thank you for being an essential worker and just out there fighting the fight every day. But Holly, thank you so much for joining us again. Shout out to Reno and to your dog.
Thank you.
Movies
But I have two. One's inside and one's outside.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
See you next
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone.
Nice.
So thank you guys for joining us.
I wasn't expecting a lot of people watch this, but you guys impressed
people
me.
Enjoyed it. You guys impressed Alice.
I'm impressed. I got impressed. People love
So next week, I know there's a lot of people more want to join us, but our show's only a week. So next week, watch The Sting, starring Robert Redford and Paul Newman. You can go to Alice's page at Alice Ramatula to book
Send
the
me a
VIP.
DM. You watch the film.
We can guarantee to get in here. And I want to thank you guys so much. We got to go. Shout out to everyone watching. And Streetcar Named Desire, if you haven't watched it, it's definitely worth the watch.
Worth it to watch it and check ourselves.
Stella.
Stella!
All right. Have a good week, guys. Bye.
Bye.